Movie story recaps here. Today I'll show you a romance movie called Friends with Benefits. The movie shows us in the start that Jamie and Dylan suffer from breakups and they both live in different cities. They have absolutely no belief in love and neither do they want any type of relationship. Jamie works in an HR department, which means that she is a recruiter and she recruits employees into the company. She calls Dylan, who lives in Los Angeles, for an interview. She was chasing Dylan for almost 6 months but couldn't reach him, and now he has come to New York after 6 months. Jamie wants Dylan to give his interview in the GQ magazine as she will get her commission as well. Even though Dylan is not confident enough, he gives the interview and gets the job, but he still cannot decide whether he wants the job or not. Dylan is very fond of New York, and this is the main reason why Jamie takes Dylan to visit the whole of New York. She takes him to every single place which will impress Dylan about New York, and he decides to accept the job. He gets recruited as assistant art director in the GQ magazines. The very next day Jamie comes to his office and she makes him sign a contract in which it's mentioned that Dylan will not leave the job before 1 year, and Jamie does this because if Dylan leaves his job before 1 year, she won't get her commission. He afterward asks her for a good restaurant in the city and Jamie thinks Dylan is asking her to go on a date, but Dylan justifies himself by telling her that he's not planning to date anyone but he just wants to eat something. They go and eat lunch where they reveal that both of them had their breakups and they don't want further relationships anymore. Jamie tells him that tomorrow night some of her friends are gonna come to her place and she invites him to come too as he can meet new people. With the further passage of time, they become good friends in which they play games and watch movies, where Dylan comes to know that Jamie likes to watch movies a lot. She tells Jamie that she wants her life to be like a movie in which she won't need time to do her hair, and when she is sad, a prince from her dream comes and consoles her. He tells her that there is nothing like that in real life and they start to have an adult conversation in them in which Jamie criticizes men and Dylan criticizes women. They know that intimacy between men and women is an important part of life, but it is very risky. It's like a game of tennis in which they just play and move on. Dylan asks her to play tennis with him, but before that, both of them put their hands on the Bible and swear that their relationship will have no emotion in between them. They commit to the promise they have actually made to the Bible and each other. They make love together and after that, they don't meet each other for weeks. One day Jamie comes to Dylan's office and they go for a walk. On the walk, she tells Dylan that the physical relationship they are having between themselves should be terminated as it is affecting their friendship. Dylan agrees with her, mentioning that he was just gonna call about the same reason, but they are not telling the truth. Both Jamie and Dylan have something else going on in their hearts. They meet afterward at night and one more time they make love. They make love in which they are committed to each other, and this goes on for a couple of weeks. One day Dylan is told by Jamie that she should have a boyfriend as that is going to be the only way to stop the physical relationship they are currently holding on to. Dylan agrees once again and they meet at the lunch walking together. There they see a very pretty girl and Dylan goes to talk to her, to which Jamie gets a little jealous as he makes her laugh and it seems that she is getting impressed, but it turns out that she is married. Jamie laughs and teases Dylan for his luck, leading to which he gives a chance to Jamie too. Dylan tells her not to talk to a guy she chooses to talk to as he thinks he is gay, but she goes and takes his number as well. They are meeting up on Saturday. After meeting up on Saturday she comes to know that he is a doctor and they enjoy their time together. Jamie seems to have started liking the guy and she meets Dylan at her home. They meet for 4 days straight afterward and obviously, they are just friends with no emotions but the physical attraction between them. She meets the doctor and they spend the night one day, after which he is going to leave as he tells her that he is not the prince of her dreams and she will have to look for someone else. Jamie gets furious and throws away the drink she just bought for him. Jamie goes to Dylan straight and after hearing her story he tells her that she was clearly used and he got what he wanted. He also recommends Jamie to go on the weekend with her mother as that was already her previous plan. He also gives Jamie a painting as a gift because he knows what she likes and what she dislikes. She takes the painting to her home and there she sees a note that her mother has left for her mentioning that she is going back. Her mother doesn't live with Jamie but comes in a while to live with her and spend a little time with her, and after seeing the note she realizes that her holiday plan has been cancelled and she calls Dylan. He is going back to Los Angeles and asks Jamie to come with him to Los Angeles as she has nothing else to do. He tells her that his family would be extremely happy to meet her, but Jamie refuses. Dylan still books her online ticket and both of them reach Los Angeles. They reach his home in which Jamie meets Dylan's father, his sister and his sister's child. His father and mother had a divorce a very long time ago and that is the reason why she doesn't live with the family. Jamie comes to know lots of things about Dylan which she obviously didn't know before. He had a very rough childhood and still, he tried his best in order to live a happy life. His whole family likes Jamie very much and she enjoys her time with Dylan's family. They have decided that no physical relationship will be developed between them, but due to their habit and closeness, they get physical once again. They are very good friends and both of them care for each other. Both of their chemistry is very good as well. They enjoy it as well, and Jamie seems very happy staying at his house. Jamie starts to fit in the family very nicely, and it doesn't seem that she's someone from outside of their family. Annie's kid calls himself a magician, and he does tricks with Jamie as well, she enjoys that too. Annie asks his brother to call his father as she has to go somewhere out for the whole next week, on which Dylan agrees, but he tells her that their father is going to live with him from now on. Annie furthermore asks Dylan about Jamie, and he behaves rudely. She asks him why he was behaving rudely, asking him whether he had a fight with his girlfriend. He astonishingly tells Annie that they are just friends and they have nothing in between themselves. Annie tells Dylan that she had seen Dylan coming out of Annie's room on the night they slept together. She was talking about the same previous night when Dylan and Jamie knew that they had to stop a physical relationship and they still couldn't stop themselves because they were too close. She tells him that there will be no use of lying to her or hiding the real truth, which she thinks is that both Jamie and Dylan are in a relationship. Jamie tells the truth to her sister. He tells her that they have no emotional attachment between them and they are just friends with benefits. She is a little surprised too, asking him what type of relationship that is. She tells him that they are making a very big mistake as they are made for each other and they can be seen happy at every moment of their life. She tells him that they look very good together and they spend a great time with each other. Dylan tells her that she's broken and is very short-tempered as well, which sums up not wanting a boyfriend. Jamie is secretly listening to all of the conversation that they were having, but she doesn't tell them that she overheard all of the conversation. At dinner, she packs her things up and tells them that she is taking the taxi because an urgent work call came up in her office and they are calling her. Dylan offers to drop her at the airport, to which his family agrees as well, but she refuses the offer and walks out of the house. Dylan goes outside to convince her, but she closes the taxi door and goes away. The reason she left this way was that her heart had been broken by Dylan once again. She leaves the house without telling anyone what had happened to her, or she listened to the conversation she shouldn't have listened to. When she comes home, she receives a call from a company that asks her that they need an employee like Dylan too. They know that Jamie recruited Dylan and now they need Dylan for their own company. She tells them that what they were doing with her wasn't alright because she had a contract with him that mentions Dylan not leaving the company before 1 year. Dylan comes to New York as well and he tries to call Jamie several times, but she doesn't pick up. One day he realizes where Jamie is and he goes there to meet her. He comes to know afterwards why she hadn't been picking his calls up and why she left like that. He tells her that he wanted his sister to get off his back and that was the only reason, but Jamie doesn't listen to him and she walks out of there. Their distance is disturbing both of them and they need to get themselves together, but they don't know how. On the other hand, we come to know that the same company which was trying to recruit Dylan through Jamie has contacted the guy themselves and Dylan is also accepting their proposal, which means that he is quitting his job from GQ magazines. Jamie goes to Dylan and tells him that he cannot just leave the job because he had signed a contract. She thinks that Dylan is taking his revenge from Jamie and she further mentions that she will not get a commission if he leaves the job. Dylan says that if he leaves the job, he will write her the check himself for the commission she is supposed to get. She tells Dylan that she doesn't need the check and she goes straight to her mother, who tells her not to do the same mistake she did. C tells him that she also met a lot of people in her life, but the perfect one was her father. She is trying to tell Jamie that she should not lose Dylan because they are perfect together and they should accept the reality. Afterwards, Dylan's father comes to New York and starts to live with Dylan, but one on the dinner table he tells his son that he met a girl when he was in the Navy. She had love in her eyes for Dylan's father, but he couldn't understand her at that time, or maybe his ego didn't let him. He tells him that maybe she was perfect for him, but now he cannot do anything, and this also may be the reason why her mother left her. He also advises him that if he still has anything today for Jamie, he should say it before it's too late. She goes to a grand station where she is finding her mother, but she cannot find her, because of which she calls her and asks her for her location. She tells him that she is sitting on the stairs with a guy, but she isn't there, and Dylan is. Seeing Dylan there, she gets surprised and we come to know that he planned that with her mother. Suddenly everyone there starts dancing. Dylan has arranged all of that and he tells her that he missed her a lot. Jamie also misses Dylan as well, after which he kneels down. Jamie thinks that he is going to propose to her, but he asks for her best friend. He tells her that he needs his old best friend back, he is in love with her. They kiss and at the end of the movie we see both of them walking where Dylan is asking her weird questions as people do on their first date. Thank you for watching. Subscribe to the channel for more such videos and leave a like to help the channel out.